Several inches of snow cover central Illinois, and it could get worse when the winds pick up. Tonight, we're tracking conditions in the 3D Live Weather Center.
With motor vehicles cruising by them at various speeds, they're at high risk for injury or death.
A commonly broken law can lead to serious problems on the roadway. Tonight, police show us what can happen when you break the rules.
My son's never been away from home for this long a time, not knowing where he's going to be or what he's going to be doing.
It's a day full of excitement and dread for these families. Some local Marines are deploying, and we bring you the emotional goodbyes.
Taking action for you. This is WMBD 31 News at 6.
A winter blast closes some schools and makes driving hazardous. Good evening, I'm Bob Larson.
And I'm Meg Marshall. Most of the snow is done falling, but high winds could make things worse heading into this evening. Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has more in your 3D Live Weather Center. Marcus.
Yeah, hi Bob and Meg. It's going to be a 1-2 punch. Really, the accumulating snow is pretty much over with across central Illinois, as you just mentioned, with several inches already on the ground. Officially here in Peoria, around 5 inches on the ground. Some areas have more. The snow's still falling. We are live downtown, just outside the Civic Center. Of course, the big basketball game, Illinois State comes to the River City to take on the Bradley Braves later on this evening for the second round of the War of 74, and it's going to be a bit slick across much of the viewing area if you're heading northwest on 74 from Bloomington to make the journey for the game. Winter weather advisory in effect. Again, not so much for the accumulating snow, but really more so for the winds that will start to pick up over the next 2 or 3 hours here. Still some light returns on X-Vision as far as snowfall goes. Those should be out of here. We're on the tail end of this circulation around this low that continues to push through. So we'll keep with the light snow showers at least through the late night hours. Maybe a ½ an inch to an inch is all we're going to see as far as more accumulation, but blowing and drifting going to be a big problem. We'll talk much more about that in your 3D Live forecast coming up. Well, on a day like today, every snow plow is needed, but getting into an accident with a plow could put it out of commission for the whole year. The Illinois Department of Transportation says it's having problems with drivers following plows too closely or cutting them off. That's leading to pricey accidents because since the state budget is in the red, a totaled plow might not be replaced until next year.
If we're out there for a reason. If you break a truck, that's just one less out there, so it's going to take us that much longer to clean it up.
Now, IDOT says in District 4, which covers the Peoria and Galesburg areas, snowplows have been hit more than 50 times since winter began. Snowplows aren't alone in taking a hit from motorists this winter. Several state police squad cars have also been seriously damaged. WMBD's Twin City Bureau Chief Jacob Long is now live. And Jacob, how often is this happening?
Well, Marcus, just in the past 1 month alone, 3 squad cars in central Illinois have been completely totaled. And while most of the time it is an accident, troopers say a lot of the times people are breaking a commonly overlooked law.
This side was actually pushed up against the guardrail.
This 2008 Crown Victoria used to be the newest squad car in District 6.
And you can see it took out the side of the car and went down the side of the car.
But with $30,000 in damage, it's headed to the junkyard.
So this really hurt us to lose this vehicle.
And so is this one, a 2006 Chevy Impala. Both vehicles were recently hit while responding to accidents on the interstate. The drivers who caused the collisions violated Scott's law.
The intent is to keep emergency responders and construction workers safe. With motor vehicles cruising by them at various speeds, they're at high risk for injury or death.
Passed in 2005, Scott's Law, or the Move Over Law, forces all drivers to reduce their speed, change lanes if possible, and proceed with caution when approaching any emergency vehicle stopped along the roadway.
We do see a lot of Scott's Law violations year-round, but they are potentially more deadly or more serious of an injury during the winter months.
That's because if motorists wait till the last minute to move over on a slick road, it could lead to disasters like these.
Had the trooper been in the back seat or possibly in the driver's seat, he would have sustained some sort of injury.
So rather than giving a specific speed, I would say slow down as much as possible.
That way you're protecting those who protect us.
Even if people's actions aren't intentional, they're preventable.
Now, some troopers have been severely hurt in these accidents, while others sustained only minor injuries. Now, if you violate Scott's Law, you should prepare to pay up, because fines can run as high as $10,000, or you could even lose your license for 2 years. Bob?
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, Toyota is making another massive recall, and this one of its more popular hybrids, the Prius. The recall involves 437,000 Prius and other hybrid vehicles around the world. Drivers are reporting a delay when they hit the brakes, especially on bumpy roads or in cold weather. New software will update the controls on the anti-lock brakes, and each repair is expected to take about 20 to 30 minutes. Local dealers say some customers are worried.
Most of the people we've talked to so far for these recalls, I'd say 99% of them aren't overly concerned. We have a lot of people we've contacted to bring them in for their recalls, and a lot of them are just waiting till their next oil change.
Toyota is already reeling from the last round of recalls affecting more than 7 million cars worldwide because of problems with the gas pedals.
Bloomington police make 4 arrests in connection with a string of BB gun vandalisms. 19-year-old Matthew Jenkins of Bloomington is charged with 2 counts of criminal damage to property. 3 juveniles are also charged, each with 1 count of criminal damage. Authorities say the suspects were firing BBs at the windows of parked cars as they drove by. Police made the arrest during a traffic violation stop.
Looking around, he noticed in the car some BBs and some packaging for an air pistol, which was found in the trunk. And this officer was well aware of the incidents we've been having, so he put 2 and 2 together.
Police don't expect more arrests in the case. However, more charges could be added when more information comes out.
Colleges and universities are telling the state of Illinois it's time to pay up. The state is $735 million behind in payments to public universities. The backlog has forced some schools to cut budgets, staff, and even campus operations. So university presidents and chancellors send a letter to the governor and the comptroller Dan Hines asking them to honor the state's financial commitment and also set up a reliable payment schedule.
The longer we wait, the deeper the hole. And the deeper the hole, the larger the tax increase and the larger the cuts.
The letter says universities have only received 24% of the funding promised by the state.
Low interest rates and tax credits protected Peoria home sales from taking a big hit this past year. The Peoria Area Association of Realtors reports a nearly 13% decline in sales from 2008. But the median sale price for a home went up in 2009 to $115,000. That's better than the state's median price. December sales last year were about the same as 2008, but realtors hope an extension of a home buyer's tax credit will encourage growth this year.
The federal government is trying to reignite the economy. They recognize that housing is the leader in economic expansion, and they feel like it's a very good investment.
Tazewell County was just one of 5 Illinois counties to report an increase in home sales and median price in December.
The Peoria City Council will vote tonight on adding 3 dogs to the police force. The Peoria police chief is asking the council to approve $40,000 to buy 2 dogs trained to detect drugs and 1 to detect explosives. Also on tonight's agenda, legislative requests. The council will vote on a list of items that it wants federal money to pay for, and we'll tell you what happens at that meeting tonight at 10. Richwoods High School in Peoria is about to undergo a massive change. Last night, District 150 school board members discussed ways to restructure Richwoods. Now, the process could be similar to what Manual High School recently implemented. Richwoods has not made adequate yearly progress during 5 of the last 6 school years in mathematics. It also hasn't met AYP in 3 of the last 6 years in reading. Schools are required to meet AYP, and the State Board of Education is now requiring a restructuring plan.
An emotional goodbye today for some local Marines headed to Afghanistan. Find out why some of them say it's about more than fighting coming up.
And high winds could cause problems on roads tonight. Marcus has your full 3D live forecast when WMBD 31 News at 6 continues.